Open the door!
I'm sorry.
Jurassic World, rated PG-13.
Hey there, whoa there, it's Rogue here. I'm going to be doing something new. I'm going to call this a reading reaction because I am going to be reading for the first time Empire Magazine's new issue for Jurassic World Rebirth. There is supposed to be a lot of new information in here, so I do want to give a possible spoiler warning. All right, starting with the cover. The cover looks great. We had this image released to us a few weeks ago. I really like it. I think this is going to be a fun scene in the theater. Into the wild. As Scarlett Johansson leads a team into terrifying terrain, Jurassic World Rebirth heralds a brand new era in dinosaur scares. And out here in the jungle, things are gonna be a lot less civilized. The image is really cool. I like that the Quetzalcoatlus has a nest in an ancient temple. That's cool. All right, continuing on. So we have 3 images going clockwise. Zora Bennett and paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis, the Spinosaurus attack, and director Gareth Edwards. So one of the images is from behind the scenes and the other 2 are from the Mosa boat attack scene. So I won't be reading everything in case you would like to purchase this magazine for yourself, but I am going to be reading the highlights. The cameras roll, and in character as intrepid paleontologist Henry Loomis, the bespectacled actor steps forward intently. He's grimed up and sweat-soaked, like his fellow cast members, Scarlett Johansson as military specialist Zora Bennett, Mahershala Ali as her seasoned comrade Duncan Kincaid, and Rupert Friend as Martin Krebs, the morally suspect company man who's bankrolled this expedition gone horribly wrong. Now, I have long suspected that Martin Krebs is going to be the bad guy of this movie. If you've seen my video, my top 5 theories for Jurassic World Rebirth, then you know I believe he is lying to our main characters, and he has a nefarious reason for going to the island. Now, this article does not confirm he is the bad guy of the movie, but I do think it's implying that he is. Now, this next sentence does confirm they are changing the lore of the franchise. Together with the disheveled, shipwrecked family that's complicated their dino DNA harvesting mission on a remote Atlantic island, they stand frozen in fear on the forecourt of a long-abandoned gas station as the velociraptors approach. Screenwriter David Koepp has said he is sticking to the established lore, but this article has just confirmed the island is in the Atlantic Ocean. So he is definitely changing the lore. What is considered film canon in the Jurassic Park trilogy and the Jurassic World trilogy is that the dinosaur islands are located off the coast of Costa Rica, which is in the Caribbean. Looking at a map, we can see that the Caribbean is next to the Atlantic Ocean. The characters could very easily move between these areas. So why David Koepp made this creative decision is confusing. He might not be changing the lore, but he is definitely adding on to it. I Googled to double check, and it says that David Koepp emphasizes that Jurassic World Rebirth will not undo or contradict any events from the previous films. But it also says they are starting over with respect for the past. David Koepp and his team are taking advantage of the established lore to create new ideas and possibilities. I'm assuming one of those new ideas is a new dinosaur island in the Atlantic that we've never heard of before. Okay. It's a bummer that he has made that creative decision because we haven't even explored all of the islands in the Five Deaths. And the island in Jurassic World Rebirth is clearly heavily inspired by Isla Muerta, also known as Site C. It's a strange creative decision to create a new island when we haven't finished exploring the established islands. This is a new era of Jurassic World. We wanted to reinvigorate the franchise, says the film's producer, Frank Marshall. I really like the image on the top left. It reminds me of the workers' village in Jurassic Park 3. David Koepp does concur that Rebirth looks back to the original film, even while it leaps forwards. We decided early on that because the first and second trilogies have concluded their stories, let's not restrict ourselves in any way. Let's have all new characters in an all new location. Yeah, it seems like we are getting a new dinosaur island. The whole point, says Marshall, was to start a new era of Jurassic World. We really wanted to reinvigorate the franchise. The clue is in the title. Unleash the Beasts. Number 1, the T-Rex. When David Koepp returned to Michael Crichton's source text for inspiration for Rebirth, one episode from the first book stood out to him. A tense pursuit involving a river raft being chased by a T-Rex. It was a sequence David Koepp and Steven Spielberg wanted to include in the original movie, but it never got past the storyboarding stage due to budgetary concerns. Now it could finally be reborn. But this is a different breed of Tyrannosaur than we've seen previously. Unlike Rexy from Jurassic Park and the World Trilogy, it is bigger, beefier, and even surlier. Feeling it would be sacrilegious almost to try and top the iconic, near-perfect design of Rexy, director Gareth Edwards instead decided to tap into his childhood. He says, "It is kind of how, as a kid, I always thought a T-Rex would look. I'm super happy with it. This is genetic experimentation. Things are not going to work out sometimes," says screenwriter David Koepp. All right, so we have 4 images here. We have the top images we've seen in the first trailer, and the bottom images, one of them is a behind-the-scenes shot, and the other one is Zora Bennett and Martin Krebs hiding from something. We have rejoined the director in early March 2025 at his Soho Edit Suite, where he, editor Habez Olsen, and Industrial Light and Magic's local team under VFX supervisor David Vickery are pulling 7-day weeks to deliver their Rebirth in time for the film's July 2nd due date. Each dinosaur encounter has its own vibe and style, says director Gareth Edwards, who describes his dino cast as a greatest hits of new and old. The new dinosaurs include jet-sized the Quetzalcoatlus, a couple of towering titanosaurs, and a cute little aqualops that befriends the youngest Delgado. Then there are the mutants, horrific, gene-spliced miscreations cooked up at a now deserted InGen facility 17 years earlier. That is some pretty big information right there. 17 years ago would have been under the Masrani administration for Jurassic World. But in the trailer, we hear the line,
"This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park,"
which of course would be under the Hammond administration. So what's happening on this island? Are both things true at the same time? Whether it was under Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, Dr. Wu would have been in charge of what was happening on this island. There's that scene in Jurassic World where Masrani and Dr. Wu are talking to each other, and it's pretty clear that Masrani is not very involved involved. It also seems like Dr. Wu doesn't have much respect for Ms. Ronnie.
Imagine.
Who authorized you to do this?
You did. Bigger. Scarier. Cooler, I believe is the word that you used in your memo.
Is the TRex a failed attempt by Dr. Wu to create the Indominus Rex? Continuing with the article, David Kep says, those came from my strange mind. We saw in some of the previous Jurassic World movies that their experiments made dinosaurs bigger, meaner, scarier. And it occurred to me and Steven Spielberg that those can't all have gone well. This is genetic experimentation. Things are not going to work out sometimes. Yeah, so that's what I was just referring to. With David Kep creating a new island, I wonder if he's going to change the lore concerning Dr. Wu. I hope not. The article continues. Alongside the lumbering trailer glimpsed Distorsterous Rex, we'll also meet the Mutadons. Director Gareth Edwards sums up the Mutadons as a combination of a pterosaur and a raptor, so they can fly. Now we get why those regular raptors were so alarmed. That sentence there doesn't make sense. Now we get why those regular raptors were so alarmed. That has to be referring to something in the second trailer, because we have yet to see the velociraptors. It harkens back to the first film. It has a lot of good jump scares. The stakes are high, says the film's star, Scarlett Johansson. Rupert Friend's strongest memory of the Rebirth shoot involves being up to his neck in the murky water of a Thai mangrove swamp. As Scarlett Johansson puts it, the conditions were tough. The jungle is not an easy place to visit, and it's certainly a hard place to shoot. We were in Thailand during monsoon season, and then we went to Malta in August. Yeah, this new island is going to have a completely different feel to it. The previous films, they were shot on location in Hawaii, so Rebirth being shot on location in Thailand and Malta is going to give this new island a very different feeling to it. Rupert Friend, meanwhile, embraced the value of shooting in real environments. Gareth really wanted to include as much of the human as physically possible. And I think it translates. We talked a lot about our mutual love for the films of the 70s and 80s and why these types of big action films felt better back then. Screenwriter David Kep agrees, though for him there was another benefit to venturing far from the comforts of the studio. It pays off because it looks not like a soundstage and not like a place we've been a million times before. Not that the writer himself suffered through the jungle or ocean shoots. I waited until they were on the stage in London, and then I was like, hey, I'll come visit you guys. Director Gareth Edwards hasn't been involved in any Rebirth 2 talk. I haven't heard a single comment from anyone about sequels. But I'm a great believer in just trying to make a great film and the rest will take care of itself. It feels like a blank canvas ahead. Unleash the Beast. Number 2, the TRex. Director Gareth Edwards plays for Empire in the Rebirth Edit Suite, the film's opening scene. Set 17 years ago, it takes place at an engine facility where hazmat suit-wearing technicians have been tinkering with dino DNA, winding up with perhaps the nastiest, weirdest-looking creature we've seen yet. The Distorsterous Rex, or the TRex. Wow, so this is confirmation that the lab scene will be the opening scene. It's as if another animal has been wrapped around the T-Rex. The bulbous-headed thing we see, whose little Rex foreclaws sit alongside a pair of burly, gorilla-like arms. Director Gareth Edwards wants us to feel sorry for it, as well as terrified. Wow, so we have confirmation there is a new island, and we have confirmation that the opening scene is going to be the lab scene. And it also implied that Martin Krebs is going to be a bad guy. Very, very interesting. What do you think about this new information? And are you going to be picking up yourself a copy of this magazine? Let me know down below. I have a lot of Jurassic content coming soon that you don't want to miss. Leading up to the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, I will be reviewing the Jurassic Park trilogy and the Jurassic World trilogy, as well as various ranking videos and update videos. So make sure you join my Rogues Gallery by clicking the subscribe button. A big thank you to everyone who made it to the end of the video. Give this video a like and leave a comment down below to show your support, and follow me on Instagram at Alexis Has Gone Rogue.